The proletariat is right. The proletariat must always be right. And the revolution of the proletariat against oppression must go on forever! And forever! And forever!
Leon, I was just reading the encyclopedia.
Say anything?
Trotsky, Leon.
Good. It's about me.
Listen to this. On August 20th, 1940, a Spanish communist named Ramon smashed a mountain climber's eggs into Trotsky's skull in Coyoacán, a suburb of Mexico City. Trotsky died the next day.
What is the year of that encyclopedia?
1994.
Strange,
Yes?
but interesting. I am Trotsky.
Yes, dear.
And this is our house in Coyoacán.
Yes.
And we have a Spanish gardener named Ramon.
Mercader, yes.
What is the date today?
August 21st, 1940.
Aha! Then I'm safe. That article says it happened on the 20th, which means it would have happened yesterday.
Leon.
And I'd be dead today with a mountain climber's axe sticking out of my skull.
Leon.
I feel the capitalist press never gets things right.
Leon, isn't that the handle of a mountain climber's egg sticking out of your skull?
Certainly does feel like one. And now I think of it, Ramon was in here yesterday telling me about his mountain climbing trip. And he was carrying a mountain climber's axe. I can't remember if he had it when he left the room. Did Ramon report to work today? No one is safe. Force must be used, and the revolution of the proletariat against oppression must go on forever and forever and forever.
Leon! I was just reading the encyclopedia.
Is it the Britannica?
Listen to this.
The universe as viewed by the victors.
On August 20th, 1940, a Spanish communist named Ramon Mercader smashed a mountain climber's eggs into Trotsky's skull in Coyoacán, a suburb of Mexico City. Trotsky died the next day.
Yes. And?
I think that's the handle of a mountain climber's egg sticking out of your skull right now.
Who's that? When I was shaving this morning, I noticed a handle sticking out of the back of my head. For a moment, I thought it was an ice pick. So at first I was worried.
It's not an ice pick.
Don't even say the word. You know my recurring nightmare.
Yes, dear.
About the ice pick that buries itself in my skull.
Yes.
That is why I have forbidden any of the servants to allow ice picks into the house.
Leon!
No one may be seen with an ice pick in this house. Especially not Spanish communists.
Leon!
We'll do without ice. We'll drink our liquor neat and our Coca-Cola warm. Who cares if this is Coyoacán in August? Not a bad song title, is that? Coyoacán in August! Or, we'll get ice, but we just won't pick at it. Ice will be allowed into the house in blocks, but may not be picked or chipped under any circumstances. Ice cube trays will also be allowed. If they've been invented yet. I'll bet that article doesn't say anything about an ice cube tray in my school, does it?
No!
Does it?
No!
Also, look at this. Do you know what this is?
No.
It's a skull.
Well, I know that, but what do you
I bought this skull. I own this skull. So what does that make this? Trotsky skull! If some Spanish communist posing as a gardener wants to bury anything in my skull, Be it on ice, you know what, or anything else, this will be here as a decoy. He'll see the skull, recognize it as my skull, bury something in it, and he'll go his way, and all go mine. Is that ingenious?
Up to a point.
50 more years of Trotsky!
Leon, I have some bad news for you.
A mountain climber's axe? Ingenious! Funny, I always thought it was an ice pick.
A mountain climber's axe! A mountain climber's axe! Can't you get that through your skull?
This is very bad. This is serious.
What is serious, Leon?
I have a mountain climber's axe buried in my skull!
Smashed. Actually, it says record there smashed a mountain climber's axe in your skull, not Betty.
Alright. What am I going to do?
Maybe a hat to cover the handle. You know, one of those cute little alpine hats with the point in the feather.
The encyclopedia says that I die today.
The 21st, that's today.
Does it say what time?
No.
So much for the usefulness of that encyclopedia. Alright then, I have until midnight at the latest.
What should I tell the cook about supper?
Well... What's this man as a gardener?
Yes.
At least he's been posing as a gardener.
Yes.
Doesn't that make him a member of the proletariat?
I would say so.
Then what's he doing smashing a mountain climber's axe in my skull?
I don't know. Have you been oppressing him?
Why would Ramon have done this to me?
Maybe he's a literalist.
A what?
A literalist. Maybe Ramon ran into Manuel yesterday. You know Manuel's the head gardener.
I know who Manuel is.
I know you know who Manuel is.
One of these days, Mrs. Trotsky.
Maybe Ramon ran into Manuel and said, well, Mr. Trotsky, I'm dying to run and see the stations today. And maybe Manuel said, I don't know, ex-Mr. Trotsky. Or maybe he was just hot to Trotsky. Or maybe he just wanted to pick your brain.
Stop it! Quiet a moment here.
Ramon!
You better get him quickly out of mountain climber's axe buried in my skull.
Ramon, come quickly!
Good morning, Ramon.
Good morning, senor.
Have a seat, please. You see, we have very good employer-employee relations here. Ramon, did you bury this mountain climber's axe in my skull?
I did not bury it, sir. I smashed it into your skull.
Excuse me?
You see, you can still see the handle.
True, Leon, the axe is not entirely out of sight.
So you cannot say buried, you can only say smashed, or perhaps jammed.
All right. But why did you do this?
I think I read about an encyclopedia.
The power of the blended bird.
I wanted to use an ice pick, but there weren't any around the house.
But why did you do this? Do you realize who I am? Do you realize that you smashed this mountain climber's axe into the skull of a major historical figure? I helped run the Russian Revolution. I fought Stalin. I was a major political theorist. Why did you do this? Was it political disaffection? Anti-counter-revolutionary backlash?
Actually, it was love, senor.
It's true, Leon! I'm only sorry you had to find out about it this way. No!
No!
See!
Oh heavens, what a fool I've been. Why did you really do this, Ramon?
You will never know, senor Trotsky.
This is a nightmare.
But luckily for you, your night will soon be over. Mwahaha! Do you think you'll have time to look at the nasturtiums today? They are very beautiful.
I don't think so, Ramon. But I'll try.
Thank you, senor. Hasta la vista, or should I say, buenas noches.
Well, all right then. The 21st of August, 1940. It's the day I'm going to die. Interesting. And to think that I've gone over so many 21st of August in my life, like a man walking over his own grave.
It's been wonderful being married to you, Leon.
Thank you, Mrs. Trotsky.
Though it was a burden at times being married to a major historical figure.
I'm sorry I was away from home so often, attending the revolution. And I'm sorry I couldn't have been more in touch with my feelings.
No, please.
That I often had such trouble expressing my emotions.
Oh, I haven't been everything I should have been either.
Well, it's a little late for regrets, this mountain climber's axe buried in one's skull.
Smashed, actually.
So it wasn't old age, or cancer, or even the icebox that I feared for years. It was a mountain climber's axe wielded by a Spanish communist.
Well, you couldn't have really guessed that, Leon.
So even an assassin can make the flowers grow. The gardener was false, yet the garden that he tended was real. How was I to know he was my killer when I passed him every day? How was I to know that the man tending the nasturtiums would keep me from seeing what the weather will be like tomorrow? How was I to know I'd never get to see Casablanca, which wouldn't be made until 1942, and which I would have despised anyway? How was I to know I'd never get to know about the bomb or the 80,000 dead at Hiroshima? How was I to know I'd never get to know about rock and roll or Gorbachev or the state of Israel? How was I to know I'd be erased from the history books of my own land?
But reinstated, at least partially someday.
Sometime for everyone, there's a room that you go into, and it's the last room that you'll ever go into. Or as you go out of a room, and it's the last room that you'll ever leave. This is my last room.
But you're not even here, Leon.
This desk, these books,
You're not even here, my love.
the sunshine coming through the blinds.
That was yesterday you're seeing. You're in a hospital unconscious.
You, standing there.
This is yesterday.
Flowers in the garden.
This is yesterday.
What does that entry say? Read it again.
On August 20th, 1940, a Spanish communist named Ramon Mercader smashed a mountain climber's axe into Trotsky's skull in Coyoacán, a suburb of Mexico City. Trotsky died the next day.
It gives you a little hope about the world, doesn't it? That a man could have a mountain climber's axe smashed into his skull, and it lived for one whole day. Maybe I'll go look at the nasturtiums.